Guess who just recertified? ANCC. Me. So guys, I recently recertified for my ANCC board certification. I was a little nervous about it because I don't know why. I was thinking like, well, what if something goes wrong and they say I can't recertify? Or what if I didn't get enough hours? To be completely honest, most of you guys who follow me, you know I'm pretty organized. And I did keep all of my hours organized and in a binder because you know I have a thing for binders, but guys, I'm gonna tell you the easiest way to do this and just what I learned during this recertification period. I kept all of my continuing medical education credits in a binder over the last 5 years. And that was good, but it wasn't good. So let's talk a little bit about it. First, let's talk about the requirements. When you get ready to recertify, what are the requirements? Well, there are, in a nutshell, you need 75 continuing medical education hours, and 25 of those need to be pharmacology. I wasn't afraid that I didn't have enough hours because I knew that I did. I did way more than what was required. But some of my fears were just 75 is a lot. And what if I don't have enough? Oh, in 5 years, you will have enough because you renew your nursing license twice within the 5 years, and you have to have a certain amount of credits for that, which you can use those credits towards your ANCC recertification. It's just really important to make sure you're recording your hours. So the requirements for ANCC recertification: 75 continuing medical education hours, of which 25 need to be pharmacology. All certification renewal candidates are required to complete a mandatory 75 continuing hours in your certification specialty, plus one or more of the 8 ANCC renewal categories. All APRNs, CNS, and NP are also required to complete 25 continuing hours of pharmacotherapeutics as a portion of the 75 continuing hours in the CNS or NP certification held. So in a nutshell, there are 75 continuing hours required or mandatory. Of those 75, so included in the 75, 25 of them have to be pharmacology or pharmacotherapeutics. And in addition, and this is what kind of confused me a little bit at the beginning, but it says you also have to have one or more of the 8 ANCC renewal categories. So what are the categories? The categories are: number 1, continuing education hours, 75 in your certification specialty. So I had that, and I knew I had that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I have 75 hours in my specialty, family practice. But you need to have it says plus one or more. Academic credits would count 5 semester credits or 6 quarter credits of academic courses in your certification specialty. So I also had academic credits because I'm a doctorate student. 3, you could have presentations, 1 or more presentations totaling 5 clock hours in your certification specialty. Number 4, evidence-based practice, quality improvement project, publication, or research. So you can have either the evidence-based practice project, a publication, or research. 5 would be preceptor hours, so that would count as one of the categories. professional service would count. 2 or more years of volunteer service during your certification period with an international, national, state, or local healthcare related organization. Accepted volunteer activities include servicing on boards of directors, committees, editorial boards, review boards, task forces, and medical missions. Number 7 would be practice hours, and that's new. And so I knew I had that one too, which would basically be 5 years preceding the date on your renewal application submission. You would have needed to have 1,000 practice hours in your specialty. Or number 8, assessment, examination resubmission. So pass the assessment, exam, or portfolio if available. So I had the 75 mandatory hours. I had more than that actually. And I also had another category, which was academic credits, because I'm in school. And I had another category, a third category, for practice hours, because I have well over 1,000 hours of practice. So making sure that you have the requirements, which we've pretty much discussed, and making sure that you have kept up with your hours over the last 5 years. You know, 5 years is a long time. So if you're a person who's not really organized, it can just get a little messy if you have your continuing medical education certificates and stuff just everywhere. So I had a binder, and I kept all of my CMEs in the binder. That helped. But when I got ready to reapply, it was, I don't want to say useless, but you need to have your credits electronically recorded in addition to keeping the actual certificates and everything in a binder. So it is important to keep that stuff, because if you're audited, you have to have proof that you did what you said you did. But you also need to record it electronically, and that's where I failed. So here's what I was doing. I love AANPs, the way they support nurse practitioners, and so I'm always on their site, because if you have a membership, an AANP membership, you have free CMEs. So I would go on there occasionally on their website, do a couple of CMEs, record them on the AANP website in their CME bank. And I stopped doing that a few years ago, and I just kept everything in my binder. So when the time came to recertify, I needed to record everything in ANCC's bank, as far as how many hours, who was it that held the program, were there pharmacology hours, when did you go? Like, it took me forever to put in 5 years of CMEs. So my new plan, I am recording every single CME I do in the ANCC CME bank, because it's just gonna be easier in 5 years when I recertify. And then I was thinking, wow, if the next time I recertify, I will have been a nurse practitioner for 10 years. It's gonna be interesting. So my advice to you guys, even if you're new and you're thinking, oh, I'm new, I have 5 years. Honey, 5 years is going to go by so quick, you are not going to believe it. So it's important for you to take these tips and start doing this now, because within the 5 years, that's what really matters, that you are putting away every CME certificate. You know where they are. That's your proof in case you get audited. And you're also recording the stuff electronically so that when it's time to recertify, boop, just the push of a button and there's my application. One other thing that I really love is that you can recertify up to a year in advance. So if you have everything you need by year 4, you can go ahead and get your recertification. The recertification is really important, and I'll tell you guys why. I sort of waited until the last minute to do mine. It can take 2 months for it to come back. So I was really nervous because I did it about 2.5 months before it expired. Don't ask me why I procrastinated when I had all of my credits, but I did. So I got it back in time. I think it took a month and a half. I can't remember, but I know it took more than a month. And I got it back in time, but as soon as it was due, my job was sending me emails. We need your ANCC certification. We need it because, you know, these insurance companies and stuff, they want you to be board certified. So you really, you know, at least where I live in this area, you really can't practice without the board certification. So it's important to do it and to do it in a timely manner. And the next time I do it, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and do it 6 months in advance, or if I'm really feeling fancy, a year in advance. So take advantage of that because I feel like it will decrease your stress if you do it well in advance so that if anything goes wrong, you can fix it. So something else I wanted to tell you guys about getting CME credits. I got a lot of my credits from NetCE. If you guys follow me on my other social media platforms, some months ago, maybe 6 months ago, I posted a lot about NetCE. And that is one of my go-to resources. My mentor turned me on to them and I love her for it because you literally just read the article and get the credit. This was amazing. Up to date. Up to date is everything. And now I love them even more. I received so many continuing medical education credits from Up to Date, and I used them when I recertified for my ANCC exam. They are approved by the Board of Nursing, they're approved by ANCC. So every time I'm at work, when I log on to Up to Date, it's logged under my name, and I get credits every time I'm researching an illness or medication. I'm getting credits. So I believe I had 60 credits from Up to Date. Crazy, right? And right now I'm gonna log on to my Up to Date account because I have it on my phone too. And I have 102.89 credits right now. 102.89. Crazy. And they're accepted. At first I thought, are they really accepted? Is this right? And because I hadn't even calculated those. I hadn't even added those in, or, you know, I wasn't really depending on them to do my recertification, but they came through. I was just like, wow, okay. So if you have an Up to Date subscription, do not sleep on the fact that every time you use Up to Date, you are getting credits. Beautiful. So make sure you guys just stay organized, make sure you use your resources, and I wish you guys luck. I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you.